We are so back with, I think, the biggest race yet, so large that we have 5 competitors on this screen here. These are the top 5 competitors tournament placements wise so far. And we have another 5 over here. We're going to try and keep track of everybody as best we can. Everybody say happy birthday to DerDrach in the YouTube comments and in the live chat. Thank you all for being here. Let's do it. Race number 7 for the tournament preliminaries. Let's go ahead and let these players get started. So we were playing Cornivus. This is, of course, the second castle start, all bosses required, start with wolf movement preset that everybody knows and loves. On our primary screen that we're going to be focusing on today, we do have our top 5 placers so far. I believe DerDrach is in the lead with the most points total, followed by Crazy Four Blades, followed by Ren, and then SotN, and then Classic Advent, if I'm remembering correctly. But these are all the best starting room in the game. You know it. You love it. It's the reverse castle entrance. We're going to see some deaths, probably, depending on their starting gear. Oh, wait, they have wolf movement. Never mind. It doesn't matter. Uh-oh. You just have to make sure to not waste it all. Uh-oh. Classic Advent out of mana. Scrimps out of mana. DerDrach makes it through. Ren makes it through. Crazy Four Blades makes it through. They do have a potion. Classic Advent uses the potion, stays at the top of the screen, and dies. Unfortunate. But it is an early enough death that it's not the end of the world, all things considered. As soon as you reset the game, you're going to get right back into the action. So, and with wolf movement, you have so many movement options available to you, you don't necessarily need to worry too much about early game decision-making too much, hopefully. Exciting stuff. This is by far the most difficult starting room in the game, the way I see it, so. Meanwhile, we're already seeing a split in routing decisions. DerDrach opts to grab the reverse entrance warp. I think Ren also grabbed the reverse entrance warp, but is now backtracking to get to the caverns, it seems like. Which is an interesting decision. I think it makes sense because you have all bosses required anyways for this preset, so it's not out of the question to say, screw it, I need to get to Galamoth at some point anyways, I need to kill Death at some point anyways. So we're seeing a couple people choose to do that reverse caverns into the mines, and I think Crazy Four Blades here in the top left is the one who is the farthest along, going for the save room just for extra safety. Meanwhile, DerDrach says, nah, I'll worry about that later. Instead, I'm going to go to the reverse alchemy lab. And it looks like Scrimps here in the bottom left also going for that save room and hasn't decided yet which route to take. This is probably the most complicated of the options here. Like, which route do you take from this starting location is very tough, genuinely. And Crazy Four Blades' first boss ready to go here in the top left, fighting Death here. I imagine, yeah, just use all of your buffs, use all of your potions that you got. Attack potion, strength potion, smart potion. Do what you gotta do to get your damage up to kill Death quickly here. Because this is gonna give you a ton of levels, a ton of options. Because these players, they do start at level 1. So killing enemies, killing bosses, all important stuff. Funny enough, we're seeing in the bottom middle here, Ren decides to skip Death. So he went to the caverns, but instead is prioritizing Doppelganger and probably Force of Echo as well. Doppelganger is a boss that you have to fight at some point. He's using the Stone Shield to keep Doppelganger in place and then do damage that way, but not like the fastest option. And no relic found for Crazy Four Blades here in the top left. Is this an all bosses preset? Yes. The way that you beat the game is you need all 5 Vlad relics and you need to kill every boss in the game. So we'll see how these players decide to route it. Starting in the second castle does make things a little bit more complicated. That was the goal for this preset, is to have more interesting, complicated routing. See players really be forced into unique situations. Yeah, already we're seeing so many different routing decisions. We have Scrimps already fighting Beelzebub. DerDrach still chilling in the reverse alchemy lab, doing item checks, killing different enemies. Hasn't found anything too overpowered, it seems. Just trying to figure out which weapon to use versus Beelzebub here. Meanwhile, Scrimps said, "Screw it, I'm just gonna make a run for it." Classic Advent also fighting death right now, taking a lot of damage from the scythes. I think the defense potion is definitely warranted versus death to prevent taking huge damage, because death is not like necessarily a difficult boss as far as like the attacks he does, but when he does damage to you, he does so much damage. So Classic Advent's gonna have to watch out here in the bottom right-hand corner. Gets the skull attack. This one's very tough to dodge. Those skulls follow you to the ends of the earth, and that is another death. Brutal start. Hopefully Classic Advent has another save somewhere. It's a damage race. He does have the save in the cave, so he's fine. Yeah, death is a damage race. It's one of the reasons why starting with the buff potions is really, really useful in this preset. You start with a defense potion, smart potion, attack potion, and strength potion. So you just want to use all of those. Oh, and an intelligence potion. I recommend just using all of those versus death. It's like he is probably the number one boss that you need to like damage check early on. It's that and Galamoth, but like you need to kill death before you fight Galamoth. So the reason you want to damage check him is because once he gets to that like middle phase where he's summoning the skulls, he's almost dead from like that's like his phase 1.75 or something. It's crazy, but he's about to die essentially. But the thing is if you let him get to that phase and do damage to you during that phase, you basically lose. And I think Classic Advent might just be running into a bit of a knowledge check issue of how to deal with death early. It's just a damage race. You just have to use all of your potions and damage race him down. There's only a few bosses in the game that are like actually scary. It's that phase of death specifically. Galamoth, if you can't kill him with the cheese that Crazy Four Blade is doing right now, the infinite damage attack thing combo. Speaking of deaths, by the way, we have Scrimps in the bottom left-hand corner also dying, but DerDrach finds a library card from the werewolves. Very interesting. Ren also fighting death at the same time. Did Ren opt to use the intelligence potion is my question. Classic Advent with another death to the skull attack. Classic Advent used all of his potions to leave the first room. That's brutal. Oh, the other boss that sucks is Granfaloon if you specifically break all of his pieces. He has an attack that's undodgeable. Malblung sword found for Crazy Four Blades, and he has that Alucard shield. Hold on. He doesn't find a good relic, but he did get the best item combo in the game, and he needed to kill Galamoth at some point. So Crazy Four Blades' route doesn't look too bad. DerDrach with a damage stack vial glitch to kill the Castlevania 3 trio quickly. And according to his tracker, that's the first boss he's defeated. That's interesting. Scrimp's still working on Beelzebub. These second castle starts are very, very tricky, everybody. Let's see if Classic Advent can adapt to the death fight here. Yes, spamming spells during this phase is really important. Goes for a Soul Steal. You just need to do damage. It's just a damage race. Oh, there he goes. He's out of that phase. That attack is so much more dodgeable. He's only got 3 health, though. Can he no-hit death from here? Classic Advent. In a tricky situation, does he know the phase 2 fight well enough? Uh-oh. He seems to have a decent strat of just running away, getting his HP back, or his MP back. Damn, even the Tetra Spirit, not enough. Death's resistances are really coming in here. I wonder if he's going to try and Soul Steal? No, he said screw it. If I take damage, I'm dead anyways. I'm just going to go for the Tetra Spirit. He's putting himself in the corner, gets out of the corner, dodges that attack. This is where things get scary, though. Uh-oh. Okay, one more hit and he's dead. Classic Advent doesn't have enough HP for a Soul Steal or MP for a Soul Steal yet. Goes for the Tetra Spirit. Seems to have a control on the... Oh, barely dodges. This is a very scary fight. Investing a lot of time here. Classic Advent barely dodges the scythe throw. No, doesn't dodge it again. Ah, brutal. Yeah, this is one of those moments where it's like a lot of deaths happening too. Scrimps with a death to Galamoth. Or sorry, Beelzebub. This is one of those moments where you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is the sunk cost fallacy real? And Classic Advent says, screw it, I'll come back later. Yeah, these players are about almost 10 minutes in, and they are struggling to find damage, except for Crazy Four Blades. And seeing how everybody is struggling with damage right now, these are the top 5 placements players so far in the tournament, placement-wise. And I think all of them have been struggling for damage. The only ones that have been making consistent progress has been Crazy Four Blades and Ren, and DerDrach now with Soul of Bat found at Akmadon. That Soul of Bat is going to give a movement advantage to DerDrach a little bit, but not by much. This is a preset that does start you with all the wolf movement options, so finding Bat isn't like that big of a deal, but at the end of the day, it's still Soul of Bat. Very, very, very powerful. This is a rough seed. This is probably one of the tougher seeds so far. Classic Advent decides, I hate this fucking place. I'm going to the first castle. An early first castle play. We'll see how it works out. Honestly, if you're stuck in the second castle, hit the bricks. Get out of there. Just leave. I respect it. Jewel of Open found immediately. This could be good. So I respect Classic Advent saying, you know what? I'm not going to be too stubborn here. Finds Gravity Boots as well. That's access to like almost every location in the first castle immediately, which is pretty big. That's a pretty big deal. That also means players who are fully exploring the second castle aren't going to be getting a huge advantage here by doing so. It's possible that the second castle doesn't have any major progression. It might just have bosses and maybe a Vlad relic or two. It's possible. How are the second players looking? I imagine it's going to be tough. We see Alex has killed Death. Major Seaman has killed Death and is working on Galamoth. We have Doppelganger 40 down for Sestrin. We see Eldritch with Alucard Shield and Maulblung Sword, Death and Galamoth down. And we have Caesar working on Beelzebub. So honestly, these players are not terribly far behind our A group. This B group is doing just fine. Anybody who decided to go Galamoth seems to be doing pretty okay for themselves, funny enough. DerDrach found Heart of Vlad probably behind Medusa, if I had to guess. Gets that entrance warp. Now the question is, does DerDrach warp back to kill Beelzebub? No. Decides, I'll save this warp for later with reverse library cards that could be important. Now will DerDrach go first castle is the question. I guess you kill Darkwing Bat while you're here. Meanwhile, Classic Advent does have Out of Logic Flight. He's exploring the first castle. And depending on what's in the first castle, this like struggle at death play could end up paying off well. Yeah, this is a seed where damage is very crucial. At the end of the day, you have to kill all the bosses. You need to have a solution for killing all the bosses. DerDrach with 2 Vlad relics already acquired. Spikebreaker found for Classic Advent in the outer wall. Ren in the bottom middle here, just making steady progress, has killed a few bosses, explored a decent amount of the castle. Seems like Sestrin is still fighting Beelzebub here at the beginning of the seed. This is going to be a seed where I imagine first place, first, second, third, those like early placements are going to win by quite a bit. But like everybody who is, because it's not just Sestrin, it's not just, or not Sestrin, sorry. It's not just, friggin', why is my brain blanking? Sorry, Scrimps. I knew there was an S in there. It's not just Scrimps struggling. It's not just Classic Advent struggling. A lot of people are struggling with early deaths, trying to kill bosses, getting a weapon online. All of these things are very, very crucial. No! That's a forfeit from Scrimps. Like I said, damage is crucial here. And it's not the end of the world for Scrimps. That's one of the reasons why we do 2 sets of races for every preset. If I look at the Cornavus placement for Scrimps, for the most recent one, he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th place. So that's going to be his guaranteed placement here for this preset in the preliminary races. These players were talking before the race that, like, honestly, the prelim matches they're important, but they're not the end-all, be-all. Because oftentimes, the tournament structure, it's just important that you make it to the final bracket. So Ooh, speaking of early deaths, Ren. Let's see if Ren has saved anytime recently here. Just died to the Minotaur in reverse Coliseum. All the way back at Necromancy Laboratory. Take a look at his bosses killed here. Oh, he loses so much progress. He lost Doppelganger 40, Death, and Beelzebub. He just lost probably like 10 minutes from that one death. Like I said, it's a struggle for everybody. This is probably the most difficult early game we have seen so far. The second castle starts can be brutal. And this is where, you know, consistency, game knowledge, understanding boss patterns, understanding different weapons, their possibilities. DerDrach has a duplicator and uses the library card. Holy! That's big. I don't know where that duplicator came from, but DerDrach looking pretty good right now. Looking pretty good. Is in the first castle. Wow. And is going to start picking up the pace where Classic Advent left off. Crazy stuff here. Cornubus sucks. It's so bad. Sorry, I'm Salt. I mean, yeah. To be fair, everyone has died at this point, I think, except for DerDrach. I think I've seen everyone die. Maybe Crazy hasn't died yet. It's just it was a brutal start. And at the end of the day, we were talking earlier, the individual races matter, but what matters more is just having a decent collection of races so you can make it to the final bracket. So I'm just embarrassed. I wouldn't be embarrassed. Everybody has died, except for like 2 players that we've watched so far. The early game was just really tough on this seed. A couple of decisions different in this particular instance could have mattered. You know? Like, low-level second castle boss fights is one of the reasons I wanted this tournament to exist, is to force players into more difficult situations. Which just means that, like, deaths are more likely to happen. I think I've seen somebody die at least once in every single race that we've watched so far. And I don't think any of these players are free from having a death on stream from the throughout the tournament. So Beelzebub death is just a really brutal opening choice. It does suck, especially with limited combat options. You have to make the decision to, honestly, the decision that Ren ended up making that I think a lot of players could make in that same spot is you go all the way to Doppelganger 40 first. Very easy boss. You can kill relatively quickly, get a bunch of levels under your belt. There's 2 relic checks there as well that could potentially help you. You need to do those checks at some point anyways, and that way you don't have to like backtrack to the caverns later. It's a possibility. I say that, but Ren ended up dying later and losing all of his progress towards that route, so, you know. Shrug. The early game stat buffs as well are also really important. Knowing when to use your strength potion, your defense potion, your attack potion, your int potion. Knowing when to use those optimally is like a huge part of consistency as well, especially with these second castle starts. I think that makes Death a better choice generally as well, because he stands still long enough for you to like spam Tetra Spirits so long as you get a couple of levels under your belt. That plus the Int Potion is probably enough to kill him. Similar thing could be done for Beelzebub as well. Ren finds Soul of Bat as well here. And Ren decides, screw it, I'm done here. I'm using my library card. Doesn't want to stay in the second castle any longer. Did Ren get the reverse All Rocks warp? I hope so. So as of right now, I think the two different competing routes is Ren did like half-ish of the second castle, early library card, finds duplicator, and is kind of just gaming. Meanwhile, I think Crazy is full clearing second castle from the looks of it. Ring of Vlad, Heart of Vlad. I think this is every second castle boss except for Creature down. So all he has to do is do Creature later, which you can do very easily with the reverse library card. So Crazy Four Blades, essentially full clear second castle up to this point. Remember that you have Soul of Bat, Crazy. Maybe he'll remember. The win condition for this preset, for those that are wondering, is you need to kill all of the bosses and collect all 5 Vlad relics. So pretty much all of our players now are in the first castle. And here in the bottom left, DerDrach finds Form of Mist locked behind the Succubus boss fight, interestingly enough. Interesting stuff. Echo of Bat found. Crazy says, I don't need it. I'm just going to leave. Uh-oh. The music player is broken. Please hold. We're so back. And Crazy Four Blades also holding on to, I imagine everybody found that library card. Because I've seen everybody use a library card up to this point except for Crazy. I imagine Crazy has that library card. I think at this point I'm going to take a quick peek at the other players. See how they're doing. Oh, Eye of Vlad found for DerDrach. That's important. We have Alex still in the second castle. Major Seaman still in the second castle as well. Eldritch, I think, doing a similar-ish route. Probably with the early library card. Caesar still in the second castle. Seems to be struggling, perhaps, versus Beelzebub. Doesn't have any bosses on the tracker. But does have Force of Echo down. Same with Sestrin. Sestrin with Force of Echo. Finds a library card and is now going to the first castle, having killed Doppelganger 40. Interesting stuff, folks. Who's to say who will win? Crazy Four Blades warps to castle entrance and is now going to be clearing as much of the first castle as possible. DerDrach doing the same, but I don't think has yet to do Alchemy Lab due to their decision-making early game. Spirit Orb found. You don't want to see that. Yeah, the Maulblung Alucard Shield combo is quite strong. DerDrach did find a duplicator, however, so DerDrach's damage is also incredibly strong. I don't know if I've seen what Ren and Advent have been using. Advent left the second castle pretty early, so Classic Advent probably not rocking anything too powerful. And I'm not sure about Ren either. Still using Starflail? Oof. Definitely not the... It's not a terrible weapon, but it's not the best. Alucard Shield and Shield Rod found for DerDrach, plus Duplicator. What more could you ever ask for at this point? So that's another Alucard Shield combo found. Another boss down for DerDrach here in the bottom left. Crazy finds the Gold Ring in Alchemy Lab, it seems like. Classic Advent already has Gold Ring and Silver Ring. Advent also went to the location at Holy Glasses and didn't find anything useful, it looks like. Because he already had the Jewel of Open, and I don't see any other important items. So... my guess, by the way, I'm going to take a quick guess. DerDrach coming up on the Spikebreaker location. I'm going to guess this is Holy Glasses. No, wait, it can't be Holy Glasses. I'm stupid, because Bat was in the second castle. This is Merman Statue? I'm guessing Merman Statue. It's that or a relic. We're going to find out in a second. Guess along at home. What is it going to be? Mermaid statue, mermaid statue, mermaid statue. It was a relic. Vlad relic, of course. That's 4 out of 5 Vlad relics acquired, and I think DerDrach can pretty confidently say that's probably final Vlad, which means glasses is probably, what, silver ring? Probably, most likely. Or silver ring is mermaid statue, and then mermaid statue leads to the holy symbol, which is holy glasses. Something like that. Classic admin finds form of mist. That location is trickily relatively high complexity because it requires both the flight, full flight. The game assumes you have full flight, as well as Jewel of Open. So mist in a relatively high complexity location. So Tooth of Vlad is the only one missing here. DerDrach ripping another library card. Oh, Classic Evan using Thunderbrand and Heaven Sword combo. Interesting. Not too overpowered, but not terrible either. Crazy Four Blades exploring more of the first castle here. Has yet to go to the caverns yet because Jewel of Open is at Outer Wall, I think. Something like that. DerDrach checking behind Lesser Demon to find nothing, which is fair. I think DerDrach is like, okay, Mist probably unlocks Holy Glasses or something, so I'm going to do the Mist checks early. DerDrach's route is looking really strong right now. He still has to kill quite a few bosses in the second castle, but his first castle routing has been very, very strong. The early Jewel of Open, I think, has worked out well in his favor to find Mist early, so now he's going to be able to do Alchemy Lab into Colosseum, into All Rocks, all back to back to back with like no stops. Whereas Crazy Four Blades, unfortunately, doesn't have gravity boots and is flying up this shaft. This is already time loss. Does not have Mist yet, is going to get to All Rocks and then get stopped before he can do the Silver Ring check. So that's more time loss. I don't know if he has the duplicator. I don't know if he has library cards either. This might be where he decides to use his library card. I don't know. So not having access to Mist and having not done the library yet has kind of just put him in a awkward spot to be doing All Rocks right now. He sits in the chair for the swag, though. Hold on. Any chair sitters? I would never. I'm using a standing desk right now. Yes, Holy Glasses has to be in the first castle somewhere. Yeah, as far as the randomizer goes, the randomizer does not know that you started in the second castle. Second castle start is like a additional checkbox ticked at the end of the seed generation process. So with that in mind, the logic for the randomizer is just normal logic. Nothing too crazy. You can use that to your advantage, which means if you find something in the second castle, you can assume that it's a higher step in complexity by default. Another library card found for Crazy Four Blades. This might encourage him to use his library card early, potentially, right here. I think if he has a library card on top of this, he should use his library card now. No, he's backtracking to the warp? I disagree. I disagree. Crazy Four Blades. And this, unless that's his only library card, it might be. If he doesn't have any other library card, this is a tough call. That's good to know. I always get paranoid running second castle starts. Yeah, the randomizer, you cannot soft lock in the randomizer. It's not possible. The only way you can soft lock is if you do something out of logic that soft locks you. Specifically, like going to Holy Glasses without flight. That could soft lock going to the catacombs without flight, I guess, can also soft lock you, but that's about it. And that requires you to do some like crazy out of logic stuff. But the game's not going to lock you out of relics or important items. Werewolf dropped the library card. There's been other library cards. I believe the skeleton muskets also dropped the library cards. Oh, Crazy's doing this because he has gold and silver ring. That's why. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, gold and silver ring, unfortunately, I think is just nothing, though. And he doesn't even have Jewel of Open to capitalize on this location to go to caverns afterwards. That's really tough. Yeah, okay, I understand why he's doing this. His thought process is, okay, this is going to be a high complexity location. This should be like glasses or mist or something important, you know? But unfortunately, I think it's going to end up just being bait. This could be vanilla glasses. We know that it's not vanilla glasses, sadly. But in his mind, it could be. Like, he doesn't know what this could be. Sadly, it's just bait. Pretty rare that glasses ends up being bait, though. Very rare. Yeah, it's just a familiar card. He should library card now. Yeah, okay. So he loses a little bit of time not library carding earlier, but... And this is... He has 8 library cards! He's got 8 of them things! Holy shit! Never mind. Goddamn. Jewel of Open was behind back card. Gotcha. I don't think any of these players except DerDrach found Leapstone. I wonder where Leapstone was. Because I think that's their intended form of flight. Leapstone gravity boots. So DerDrach has some choices here because he's going to find Silver Ring here in just a little bit. He's going to have to decide if he wants to go to Holy Glasses or not. If you have 4 out of 5 library or familiar cards, fucking, oh, Jesus Christ, Vlad relics. Sorry, I'm sick. My brain isn't working. I've got brain damblage. If you have 4 out of 5, you're probably going to check Silver Ring just now in a little bit. Find Silver Ring. DerDrach probably still going to keep going, yeah, to check Silver Ring. Silver Ring is going to be Merman Statue, most likely. Which then leads to Holy Glasses. The question then becomes, does he get baited by Holy Glasses, or does he know that Holy Glasses is just a random relic location? Has DerDrach been keeping track of the complexity well? Yep, that's Merman Statue. I think he can suss out that this means that glasses is not necessarily complexity. Also, none of these players have Tooth of Vlad, but also none of these players, I think, have fought Creature yet. So I'm starting to think that Creature is just Tooth of Vlad. I want to take a look on these players here, see how they're doing. Everyone except Caesar in the first castle. Various things have been done so far. A lot of bosses done for Eldritch. Not bad. Alex in the caverns right now. Major Seaman probably on his way to the caverns. Has Tooth of Vlad and has killed Creature. Yep. So Major Seaman basically, yeah, full cleared second castle. And is going to be the first to have all the Vlad relics, most likely. But it depends on how efficiently Major Seaman's going to be able to kill the bosses from there, so. DerDrach making it to a warp room. Ooh, this is an interesting decision. So DerDrach is like, I need to check the Holy Symbol location now that I have this Merman statue. But I could also combine it with the Holy Glasses location to guarantee that I don't get screwed over. I like this play because theoretically, it could be a random Vlad there. Even if you already have sussed out the complexity chain and you know for a fact that Holy Glasses can't be an important relic, it could just be a random Vlad. Especially if you already assume that your final Vlad is at Spikebreaker, which is, I think, correct. So this is kind of like the safety play instead of an aggressive play, where it's like, this could be anything, so I'm just going to check it. The only downside is you have to wait for the clock statue to move, so it takes a while. So I think DerDrach will be first to clear the first castle, because this is the last thing he needs to do, is this, and then a holy symbol. I think he still has to kill Karasamon as well. But if he library carded, that means he has to go through Clock Tower, actually. So DerDrach is close to being done, but is not necessarily done yet. Yeah, unfortunate for Crazy Four Blades. Finally finds Mist. He could have had Mermaid Statue at this point. Oof. On the bright side, everybody kind of has to do this route where they go to the caverns to get Mist, then to All Rocks, and then Chapel to get Mermaid Statue, and then back to the caverns. So this backtracking is kind of forced anyways. So it's not the end of the world. It's just unfortunate that Crazy Four Blades had already gone through all of the All Rocks' quarters. Ends up making the route slightly less efficient than it could have been. The preset is on the screen in the bottom left-hand corner. We are playing Cornivus. Bing, 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 bing. So this pretty much has to be Holy Glasses here for DerDrach. I thought the command said what the preset did. That's exclamation mark Cornivus. Each preset has its own command. You just have to type the name of the preset. There's Holy Glasses for DerDrach. Not much to do, really. Just got a library card. And then from here, go to the Clock Tower. From the Clock Tower, kill Karasamon, go second castle, kill the remaining bosses. And that should be GG's for DerDrach. It's just a question of, will anybody find a faster route and be able to execute it before then? Ooh, unfortunate for Classic Advent. Out of MP here. Has to wait to have at least 20 magic before going through that Mist Gate. There he goes. Makes it through. So, wait, DerDrach did go to Castle Keep at some point. I thought he library carded. But I guess... Oh, what? I guess DerDrach didn't library card to enter the first castle? Am I misremembering? Maybe. For some reason, I thought DerDrach library carded. But maybe didn't. After Hippogriff? Oh, maybe he kept going after Hippogriff and we just didn't see. That's probably what happened, actually. So after he did Silver Ring, that makes sense. We clicked off and he went through Hippogriff to Castle Keep. I see. That makes sense. Never mind. So that happened when we weren't looking. We were like checking out the other racers. That makes sense. But yeah, DerDrach's looking quite strong. A lot of people are saying that he's the favorite to win the whole thing, but... DerDrach reapplying the Alucard shield, is aware that if you go through the saving Richter cutscene that it gets rid of your Alucard shield. So, and DerDrach using that warp from the very start of the run in reverse castle entrance here. Probably going to go fight Beelzebub right now and then use that location to pivot into other locations in the first castle, maybe. We'll see how this works out. Yeah, out of everybody who has entered the tournament, DerDrach has the combination of very strong execution, game knowledge, and randomizer knowledge. I think there's very few things in the game that DerDrach is like going to be surprised by, and also learns incredibly quickly anytime that there is something that comes up that he's not already aware of. Beautiful entering the fight with the wing smash, but doesn't quite get the dive kick to finish the job. But does finish up with the Alucard shield special. Beelzebub is down. And nothing here. Oh, the reverse library card comes out. This is a strong play. You just reverse library card, go from here all the way to Galamoth, warp back to whichever warp is the closest from there, or just reverse library card again at Galamoth. Fuck it. Yeah, no. DerDrach's route is looking real clean. Probably going to be in go mode officially in like the next 7 minutes, I want to say. We're looking at a sub 50 clear for DerDrach, if I had to guess. And the only person who can contest it is Crazy. Because as we can see, Crazy Four Blades has done all of the bosses except Karasamon, Creature, and Saving Richter, and Hippogriff. So Karasamon, Hippogriff are going to happen here. Oh, but he doesn't have Mermaid Statue yet. So he has to go all the way to Silver Ring to find Mermaid Stat. Yeah, so he's still on a fetch quest right now, sadly. Meanwhile, DerDrach is just making clean progress through all of this. And I think everybody else has just been struggling to make progress because of the early game decisions they've had. So, for example, Classic Advent never found Soul of Bat due to not clearing more of the second castle. Ren obviously lost like nearly 10 minutes at the start due to a bad death and has been trying to catch up since. Did have Soul of Bat, however, which does help a lot. Meanwhile, DerDrach, no deaths, if I remember correctly, and just clean decision-making all the way through. It's always Creature, yeah. While DerDrach progresses, let's take a quick peek at our B team here. The racers over here are doing all right. Eldritch, honestly, not doing too bad. Let's get Eldritch up here on the big screen top left. Has Mermaid Statue. Has a lot of the bosses down. Is missing just the right side of the second castle, actually. And is on his way to Holy Glasses. Eldritch is a sleeper pick for like top 3, I think. Major Seaman as well. All 5 Vlad relics acquired. And most of the bosses down, too. Is only missing... who are we missing for Major Seaman? Shout out to Major Seaman. Salute. I salute our soldiers. Just needs Karasamon, Slugger Gaibon, All Rocks, Minotaur Werewolf, Hippogriff. And that's it. And obviously saving Richter. Doesn't have Mermaid Statue yet, but is on his way to get it and still needs Holy Glasses. So still quite a bit of collection for Major Seaman, but honestly a dark horse for doing quite well this tournament race. Crazy Four Blades finally checking Silver Ring here. Finds the Mermaid Statue. Opts to not library card quite yet. Thinks he can get there faster by just movement alone, which I think is debatable. I think the library card ends up being slightly faster, or he's going to the warp. Crazy Four Blades opting to go to the warp here instead. That's an interesting decision. I wonder why. Either way, DerDrach, one boss away from go mode here. Even surpassing my expectations. I was assuming he wouldn't kill Galmoth until the 47-minute mark, but it looks like he's going to do it in sub 46. Shit, maybe even sub 45 if his movement keeps looking clean. Yeah, Crazy Four Blades opted to go all the way to Castle Keep to use the warp to get to Alrox's quarters when he was at the Silver Ring location. I don't think that that's the correct route. I think he added extra movement in there that he didn't need to do. Unless he needed that warp for later. Unless for whatever reason he missed that warp and he needed it for later. It's possible that maybe he just hadn't gotten that warp yet for some reason, but I don't know. Yeah, that is go mode for DerDrach here. He's getting kind of bullied by these red skeletons, but honestly, there's not much stopping him from the end of the game here. I probably would have reverse library carded at Galamoth, personally, because I don't think backtracking and then using the warp ends up being faster, to be honest. I think if you have the library card, the reverse library card ends up being faster. Slightly. Sub 48. Oh, yeah. DerDrach is looking for a sub 48 here. He's got about a minute-long cutscene that he's going to have to wait through once he gets to the clock room. So this is looking like a low or a high 47, most likely. DerDrach using the slower path to give other racers a chance. Well, that's the thing, is in a randomizer, every single time you're playing through, the route is going to be slightly different. The items that you have, the amount of MP that you have, the decision making is different every time. So sometimes, even if you don't find the quote-unquote optimal route right away, making a decision and sticking to it, if it's close to fast enough, is what matters. So DerDrach sitting, waiting. Let's see how the other competitors are doing. Is anyone else close? Major Seaman is a few bosses away from being in go mode. Eldritch also a few bosses away from being in go mode. And it looks like everybody else is still making progress as quickly as they can. Well, let's go ahead and focus in on DerDrach as he finishes up the game here. Looking to get another first place under his belt. And if I'm checking this out properly, yep, DerDrach also got first place in the other Cornivus race. So basically denying first place from anybody else for the Cornivus preset. I think Cornivus is probably one of the tougher ones. A lot of players, I think, struggle in the early game with the second castle start and requiring all the bosses to be killed. So it really does reward clean technical play, game knowledge, boss fights. And there it is, 4750. GG's to DerDrach with a first place finish. You love to see it. Meanwhile, Crazy Four Blades, one boss left, kills the Shaft Orb, can just reverse library card to get Creature out of the way. And just like that, that's go mode for Crazy Four Blades in just a little bit here. Yep, uses the reverse library card now. I think Major Seaman is the only one who's close, as well as, and Eldritch. Eldritch is on his way to the second castle. Missing Heart of Vlad, however, which I believe is at Medusa. Yeah, it's at Medusa. Okay. And Ring of Vlad, I think, was at Darkwing Bat, which is also missing for Eldritch. So Eldritch isn't missing any Vlad relics as far as like skipping any. So Eldritch is on his way slowly. Major Seaman still needs to get Holy Glasses and kill Hippogriff. So I think Crazy is actually doing just fine here. Heart wasn't randomized. I'll let you in on a secret. Tooth wasn't randomized either. Yeah, Crazy Four Blades this tournament has shown himself to be quite consistent in the grand scheme of things. I don't think he's had a first place finish yet, but has had many second place finishes. I don't think he's finished outside of the top 4 in every race that he's entered. I could be wrong, though. So the consistency from Crazy Four Blades has been very commendable. I liked his route, too. I think his route was very strong. I think the only thing that screwed him over was not library carding to enter the first castle. Him deciding to use or wait to use his library card and do all the other checks first slowed him down quite a bit in the first castle. But other than that, he's still only, what is this? Probably like a minute, 30 seconds away from finishing the game. He did have 8 library cards, and I think we only saw him use like 2 of them, maybe 3. So, crazy 8 library cards over here. Still seems to be very confidently heading to the end of the game. Perfect amount of MP usage here. And now just has to wait for the clock room to open. And we're going to see some of the Go mode players kind of flooding in here in just a bit. Nobody else found the duplicator? I don't believe so. I don't think I saw anybody find it. If it was from like a early game enemy drop, I doubt anybody found it. Everybody was kind of struggling to kill things in the early game. It was first castle attic? Oh, then somebody else surely found it. Surely. I don't think Crazy has it, though. Is there another race today? Yes, there will be another race scheduled an hour from right now. But I'm pretty sure unless an insane snipe happens in the next 20 seconds, no. All right. Crazy Four Blades looking to finish second place yet again. Like I said, the consistency is key here, especially in these prelim races. Yeah, unless a stray cosmic particle from the sun hits his computer in just the right way, bit flips everything, crashes the game. If that doesn't happen, then it looks like Crazy Four Blades finishes second place here. Congratulations. You love to see it. And you know what else we love to see? Let's go ahead and do let's have some fun here. Oops. Let's get the whole squad. Let's get the whole squad in here. Ah, it's so loud. There we go. It's taking a while to load, everybody. Please be patient. And then I need to move myself down as I am covering. There we go. What is this, a stream for ants? Yes. In fact, actually, I think I can do it this way. Here we go. No longer a stream for ants. So next to finish, if I had to guess, is probably Major Seaman, right? Is literally in go mode, just has to save Richter, and then is technically in go mode. Eldritch is not too far behind, actually. Just needs to kill... Oh, wait. He's in go mode right now. He just entered go mode, and he's right next to the end of the game. Is Eldritch going to get third place in his birthday race? Top 3? Did everybody else throw so Eldritch could get top 3 for his birthday? What a nice present. This community is so nice. So loving. I think this will be Eldritch's best placement so far. You love to see a podium finish, especially in prelim matches. It's all about finishing consistently. DerDrach and I had to secure our spots. Yeah, it was a very brutal early game, I will say, for a lot of the players. But the players who stuck through it and were able to clutch out a few key early game moments did incredibly well this seed. One person I do want to give a shout outs to is Classic Advent for sure. I think we saw 4 deaths to the death boss fight and is still sticking through it. And is honestly not even like that far behind. Just has to kill the second castle bosses and then Advent is in go mode. Which is pretty wild to think. That you could die like 4 times and still be in it for a decent placement. Taryn, by the way, thank you very much, Taryn22, for the Prime sub. Remember, if you got that Amazon Prime account, that is 1 free subscription to any streamer. You get to skip the ads on Twitch, get emotes, hang out in the subscriber section of the Discord. All of those things could be yours for free if you got the Amazon Prime account and want to drop a free sub on your boy. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. It's not a free sub to any streamer. It only works here. Well, you have to test it out here first just to make sure. And Eldritch with the 3rd place finish, by the way. You'll love to see it. GG's. Yeah, brutal seed for a lot of these competitors. Very, very brutal indeed. But you love to see a birthday boy clutch it out. Oh, this is going to be a close one, though. Between Major Seaman and Ren, actually? It looks like Major Seaman's clock room is opening first. Does he have the sauce? Does he have the damage? Very close. It's going to come down to damage for sure. I don't know if both of these players are Alucard shielding it up, but we'll see. Major Seaman ahead by just a little bit here. Uses the Alucard shield, has to wait for the animation. Does Ren already have it applied? Oh no, it's going to come down to movement. Major Seaman! No! Oh god! No! He didn't clutch the movement. Does Ren have the shield active? He does! Oh no, he fumbles the movement at the final moments. And it's going to cost him the 4th place finish. Damn. This truly is a snipe of all time. Ren's controller needs to get unplugged. His power needs to run out. His mom needs to unplug the Ethernet cable. There's not much you can do against an Alucard shield running wild. And that is time for Ren. With Major Seaman not too far behind. Yeah. 7 seconds apart. Regardless, you love to see it. GG's to both players. And Classic Advent, I think, is going to be next up. Everybody else here seems to have had various levels of struggle up to this point. That's for sure. GG's nonetheless. You absolutely love to see it. And Uber Willow, thank you for the 300 bits, by the way. I very much appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. So Classic Advent just has a few bosses left. Akmadon, Trio, Beelzebub, and that's it. It is very unfortunate that it looks like Advent has saved Akmadon for this very moment. They've been playing for nearly an hour, and Classic Advent is finally going to find Soul of Bat. Quite a shame. Quite a shame indeed, but that's how it works sometimes. Sometimes it just comes down to decision-making early game. If you find the right location, it matters a lot.
I'm coming.
Yo, is that, Yo, I'm Chris? 427, thank you for the prime. Thank you, thank you. Primer's indeed rising up today. You love to see it. And there is Soul of Bat. If I'm Classic Advent, I'm freaking rolling my eyes. I'm going, ugh, really? This guy. Very unfortunate routing, but still. Classic Advent not giving up. And we'll see how this continues to go. But yeah, overall, I think this seed is a story of early game persistence, some early game decision making, when to use your power-ups, when to use your stat bonuses, which routes to take in the second castle. Also, shout-outs to the imps, giving Classic Advent quite a bit of trouble. This seed is dog shit, says Ren. That's unfortunate. I mean, it happens. The seed was definitely very rough. That's for sure. A lot of players struggled, for sure. What the hell? Something wrong with the Alucard shield? Yeah, that shit just wasn't working for a second. All right, Classic Advent with one boss remaining before finishing the game. Very low on MP, however. I'm going to keep it so insanely real with you, chat. I didn't expect this race to go on this long. But I'm going to leave you guys for just a second to use the bathroom. I tried to hold it, chat. I really did. Classic Advent, you got this. We'll be back before, I don't know, whatever. See, I'm back just in time to watch Classic Advent clutch out the finish here. I told you I'd be back. I told you I'd be back. Yeah, sorry, y'all. I've been drinking like a ton of tea and water and stuff because I'm a little sick. So sometimes drinking nothing but liquids nonstop for hours at a time will force you to need to use the bathroom. But GG's to Classic Advent, getting 5th place here today. And now, yeah, it looks like Alex is not too far behind. Drink some more, you got it. You don't gotta tell me to drink water. I'll do it for free. Yeah, definitely a very rough start for a lot of the players here. But seeing them persevere. And there is go mode for Alex. Just has to make it to the final clock room here in just a little bit. I haven't been seeing. What is Alex using? I imagine Alucard Shield like everybody else. Probably. Alex is a little low on MP here and is coming up on a relatively scary room. Decides to say, you know what? Wolf it is. I ain't gonna mess with these guys. And now we just have one more clock room to look through here before Alex finishes up. Do you think it feels good for the clock statue to move in and out of position? Do you think it like feels nice for them? Kind of like cracking your back or something? I think so. I'd like to think so. Also, if you make a castle, right? Why is there an elevator that leads to your final secret layer? I'm trying to think logistically. What does Shaft have to gain by being like, actually, here in my secret layer, you can get here by just taking an elevator. That's all you need. Like, I get that it was blocked by the clock's, like, mechanism that required the pieces of Vlad or whatever. But why not just, like, seal that shit up or something? I don't know. Like, if you've already revived Dracula, why even give Alucard a chance to fight back? His name is Shaft after all. Yeah, he can't help himself. That's fair. And that is going to be time for Alex. GG's. And we have Sestrin now, who has 2 Vlad relics and quite a few of the first castle bosses defeated. And Caesar in a similar spot with 3 Vlad relics and quite a few of the first castle bosses defeated. Knowing these two, it probably will take a while to determine who will finish. I think both of these players have yet to finish a race. But it looks like Caesar is probably in the lead between the two. We do have another race coming up in a little bit, so I'm going to make sure I can start getting ready for that as soon as possible. So if you've been watching on YouTube, stay tuned for the next one tomorrow. If you're watching live right now, it's going to be happening in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that. And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, YouTube. Have a good one. Bye-bye.